Alright, so The Exorcist III. Now, when I watched this movie, I wasn't really expecting. Well, it was my second rewatch of it personally because I did it before on an old channel until I done this channel, the Night Bites. But um, when I watched it for the second time, there's already a commentary on it. Go watch it if you want to, or listen to it if you want to. And I was kind of bored and amazed at the same time. The reason is because the first part of the movie starts off boring, but then the second part of the movie gets interesting because the guy, he's a detective. I don't know his fucking name as well, but he was a friend of Damien Carras, which was Father Damien, and he's trying to find out what happened to Father Damien, and then he finds out what was it? Damn, the something killer. There's something killer, which is played by Brad Dourif, and I gotta say his performance is fucking magnificent. Gemini Killer, that's what his name is. He's the Gemini Killer. He's the one that ends up killing Father something in the hospital bed. And all his blood's organized in the fucking thing. Then there's one part. Well, let's talk about the opening. The opening is with the whole church, which is pretty much heaven. And you get to see Jesus blinking, whatever the hell that's going on. But I forgot to mention one thing. There's a whole part where the detective guy is in a dream state or whatever. Then he sees the guy, which is the father, in heaven, which makes no fucking sense. And then the father guy says, "You might be dreaming, but I'm not." And then you find out then that father ends up dying. And I think the Gemini killer killed him because he literally admitted to it. And there's a part where Gemini killer talks about squeezing blood through tubes and shit, which is pretty nasty shit. But that's how he described how he killed his victims, which is pretty fucking gnarly if you ask me. But there's one part where it's switching back between Gemini Killer and Father Cross, because you can't. Whenever the detective guy tries talking to Father Cross, or Damien, I'll just say his name is Damien, that's easier. When he tries talking to Damien, the Gemini Killer, who's Brad Dourif, ends up saying no, it's the Gemini Killer or some shit. Then there's another part where a grandma gets sent to the detective's house to kill his family with a big fucking scalp thing. And you come to find out that that scalp was taken because they had to call in for another one. So the grandma tries to end up killing him, but she doesn't. And then at the very end of the movie, you have the whole part where the another father comes in, and that's actually Damien, well, the demon Pazuzu, talking for him. And there's a whole exorcism part. Then you have where the guy's on top of the fucking ceiling, and then as he moves, his fucking skin rips off, or his skin rips off, and he falls. He doesn't die quickly. Then you see the detective guy go in, and he was trying to murder Damien with the gun. Then there's a whole part where the father's like, "Fight him, Damien." Then you end up, there's a whole part where the whole bottom of the room opens up, and then it shows Damien on the cross. Well, I think it's the real Damien because he's trapped in hell. And then you got the whole part where that ends, and the detective's on the roof, and he gets dropped down, and then Bill, that's his fucking name, Bill. Then Father Damien's like, no, and then Father Damien's like, Bill, now, shoot me now, kill me now, and he just fucking fires him, which is funny as shit. I thought that was a funny ending. I really thought that was a funny ending. But you get the whole cemetery part where Father Damien is actually dead now. I don't know why he would want to be killed immediately. Maybe he could have lived longer. That would have been cool to see Father Cross live and be in other Exorcist films, or live his life, I guess. But overall, for a third movie of the Exorcist franchise, if I had to give this movie a rating, I'd probably give it like a 7. It's because it's way better than the second one. I mean, a 7's a genuine rating. It's because, I mean, it could have been a lot less boring, because the whole part where it's long shots and small, quiet parts, I really don't like those in horror movies, but that's what builds up the climax and stuff. But overall, that's pretty much about it. The Exorcist III.